on, Norman.
Don't hold it back, yeah.
I'm just going to go and share the link, so just chat between yourselves.
Yeah, I'll just wait for a few. Come on.
Yeah. I was talking about Matt. I was praising Matt as well. Like, you know what I mean?
Right, it's me, Brian Cockerill, aka the Taxman, and I've got my very, very close friend, my brother, Norman Buckland, the Governor. Norman, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Norman, I want to go back to the Governor, because a lot of people don't know what it is, what the Governor is, unlicensed fighting. You were an expert, you were the Governor, you know the full ins and outs. Can you explain to the people back home who don't know what the Governor means and what the unlicensed fighting's about?
Yeah, I used to get called the Governor as a youngster. People, I think, because the family is a fighting family, the Bucklands and the Coopers and the O'Sullivans. And going back to my grandparents, my great-great-grandparents, my grandfather, he was the Ferrer, Barnet Ferrer. He was the Governor there. He was boxing. He was a fighter, and hardly anyone would fight him. That's old Bucky, they used to call him. And my grandmother's father was Gypsy George Cooper, what was a famous bare-knuckle fighter. And along the way, I don't know if it was a grandfather or one of the young uncles, was Gypsy Jack Cooper, like. And I think one of them ended, and his brother ended up over in Australia. I think they in a fight, someone got killed, like, you know, the bare-knuckle fight. I think he got 6 months to begin with. Right. But you've also got Roy Shaw and Lenny McLean.
Emma, it's gone off. His side. It's gone off on Norman's side. Emma. I know, I'm just trying to tell you it's gone off.
I'll have to resend the link to Norman.
Yeah, just let you know.
Yeah. Sorry, everyone watching.
Sorry,
we'll be
guys.
back 2 minutes.
You must have pulled the plug out, I think.
Yeah. Right, add to stream. There he is. Hey, Norman.
Hello, mate. I'm sorry about that.
All right. We'll just keep carrying on now. So, what were you saying about the fight?
Yeah, Lenny McLean, a great man. Roy Shaw, fantastic, like, you know what I mean? You had a few. You had Cliff Fields. You had a fella up north. You know what I mean? You had great fighters. And they all hit their peak, probably 25. You can never say, I get asked all the time, who's the hardest one out, which one would have won? The only way you could ever tell, like, is have them at their peak and prime at 25 years of age and then fight each other, like, you know what I mean? To me, they're all legends, like you're a legend, like, you know what I mean? I used to have a mate from Hartlepool, Frankie Ross, bless him, he died, heart attack. And he used to talk about you all the time. He said, no, Norman. He said, I've chawed something, like. He said, something off the chavies, like. And I said, so what? He said, this big fella might come and see me, Brian Cockerill, like. And I said, yeah, well, what? He's a tax man. He might tax me. Apparently, you both got on. You might not remember him, but you both got on well. And I said, what am I supposed to do, like? He said, could you have a word? I said, but he said he's got books out as well. And I said, I've done my homework. I watched you on video, like. You was fighting as an amateur, and it must have been in the ABAs. And you was light on your feet. You was quick. You hit the bloke whenever you wanted to hit him. You must have done something in the ABAs because it was good stuff. Yeah. And it's the only amateur fight I've ever seen anyone what looked like Muhammad Ali, a white Muhammad Ali. Who's this? I said, well, Muhammad Ali. Yes. Yeah. And it was a fantastic fight. You won easier. I did see you in another fight. You was fighting a bloke with a blue Mohican. But I could see you didn't really train for that fight. You was in there for the fun. And that bloke caught you some punches what would have broke my jaw or anyone's else's jaw. But you laughed at it, like. You said, this is fun, like. You know what I mean? And you shook the bloke's hand after, like. I think if you're that little bit fitter, you would have... I don't know. I think it was a draw. I don't know. I think you might have taken the fight. Yeah. But I watched it, and the amateur days, like, you was something special, mate. How you didn't fight for Olympic gold or something like that, then turn on to professional. But I spoke to your wife. I'd like to say about your wife. Yes. We've done bad things. I've done bad things. Sorry, everyone. I regret it. I'd like to say sorry. Families or anything I've upset, like. But my missus said that wasn't that bad. So maybe I think I've done worse than I did. But I mean, you've met your beautiful missus now. You've seen the light, you know what I mean? You've changed. You're a beautiful natured man, like. We've both done wrong things, but we've both got good women now. Yeah. And they're pointing us our right direction, like. And I like to think we can help the kids, like. Maybe I used to help the YPs, the kids and the YPs in prison. We had one of them. I'd like to say Wood Hill, Milton Keynes, because this man was his boxing career started there, and he's one of the greatest, I say, pros out there. And he didn't know at the time. He didn't even know he could box, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the YPs used to be at me like, teach us to box, Norman. Come on, teach us to box, like. And we used to have some old gangsters, Larnold, what they was called, I forget their names, on 1A. And they'd say, listen, we know what's going on next door. Like, half the time we can't sleep. The kids have gone fucking mad. They're turning on the screws used to be called governors.
Yeah.
So that's why I didn't really take, people call me Norman. I don't mind governor or Norman, but everyone what was in charge was called governor, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I knew one day they used to call me governor, even the kids. I said, I'm not your screw. You know what I mean? I'm not a prison warden. They said, yeah, but you are the governor. And we had Matt Legg come along, and I trained him up, like, and all the other kids used to join in. Fucking, once they got to know me, like, I took over the wing because they're taxing and someone committed suicide. It was the kids are bad. And I didn't mind the screws. I like the screws. Just like us, they had to go out and work and earn a living. And some of them were lovely people, like, you know. So I didn't hold it against the screws. Some of the YPs are in there for murder. They were on remand. So they were bad boys, like, you know what I mean? Just like me. I was on remand. But they still had to go to court and the testosterone and, you know what I mean? I think what they needed was a good mort to sort them out. Yeah. But, you know, the old doorman said, the old Londoner said, she keeps pinching me. She's the boss. Yeah. If I swear or say anything wrong, she hits me. And the last time I had is off her. She beats me up these days. So if am I making a comeback? No, I'm not making a comeback. My wife beats me up.
Yeah. And, when you go to jail, Norman, it's not a nice place to be. People don't realise you take you've got to eat what they say, you've got to sleep when they say. It's not a nice place to be in jail.
I've seen it all. Like, when I went on to the old Londoners said, Larnold, I remember Larnold because one of his son come from Watford and he was the governor. He was the governor at that one stage. And his name's gone. He's going to hate me for this. But Larnold, he was an old gangster, and he had some old gangsters from London with him, like. And they pulled me aside and, all right, here, Mush, come over here. Yeah, listen, I'm going to have a whisper in your cockle ear or something. It's called. They're Londoners talking London, like, you know what I mean? Yeah, yeah. And let's have a word. Come here, mate. Listen, right? The kids over there driving us fucking mad. We can't sleep because they're screaming and shouting all night. I know they're on a different wing, but the wings are together. They said, and one's committed suicide. The screws are having trouble, right? The listeners are over there telling us what's going on. They can't tell the screws, so we want you to go in there and sort them out. And I said, well, I didn't know what it was about. I already had a row on visits where two gangs started fighting, had the kids there, like. So I shot up, hey! What's going on? They'll fucking break it up, like. And fucking about 15 boys sat down this side, another 10 sat down that side, like. Yeah. And the screws looked at me. I thought they were going to nick me. I thought I was in trouble. But they come to see me the next day, like. They said, listen, you know, what he done there was good, like, you know what I mean? Yeah. And I found them okay. They treated me properly. And I said, would you like to go on that wing, like? Just say they're fucking murdering each other, like. You know, it's hard work. They won't listen to us. You know, because they're screws, like they're governors. We had to call them governors. Yeah. And it's funny, you know, governor, I get called governor, and they were governors. And when I went on there, they called me governor. They said, yeah, you're the governor, like. And I think it might have stuck from there. It might have stuck. Yeah. The Bucklands come over from Ireland. My family originated from Ireland, the Bucklands. And when they come over, they were sheriffs for the king. I'm going back hundreds of years ago. Yeah. They were like debt collectors. And I know the sheriffs. What are they? Yeah, sheriff. Yeah, they were like governors. They'd go into the places and take over. And the king give them a shield, a knight shield, didn't they? Yeah. And I always say that. Where's my belt? Yeah. I always say it's this belt. The Stormy Norman Buckland belt, yeah?
Yeah, it's amazing.
We've got Norman here.
Oh,
we got who's that?
Gary Fairby.
I'll pass it down to Gary, like, bless him.
He's a good lad.
It, like, when I was when I was about 50, I was fighting up in London, and the show's up there. Joey Pryle, blessed, he's dead now. Total respect to the old man, like, you know what I mean?